Well, number one, I'm Roman Catholic, and I believe in the Catholic philosophy of life begins at conception and ends at natural death. It's a biological fact. More importantly, it's the American dream. I mean, we're given rights by our Creator to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And life is the first thing in that trilogy, and we need to keep it that way. It's not a debatable issue. I'm here today because my parents made the right decision. And everyone who looks in the mirror every day should be thankful that their parents didn't choose to remove their life because they wouldn't be able to look at that mirror. It's a personal decision, and today 95% of abortions are a matter of convenience. 5% fall into the category of rape, incest, or the life of the mother, and God chooses the path that we're going to live on. We don't. We choose to make the right decision when we get to choose between good and evil, but sometimes we get thrown curveballs that are not in our favor, and we need to make sure that we don't interfere with one's ability to enjoy a life. So sometimes out of something bad, something good can happen. And in the case of tomorrow, we're going to be speaking in front of Pam Tebow. She had a decision to make. Her doctors told her to choose to abort her son, and because her life was in danger. And she prayed on it and decided that she's going to go through with the pregnancy. And as it turns out, the child came out healthy, she survived, and Tim Tebow won the Heisman Trophy in 2006, is now a professional football player. So sometimes you make the shortcut of decisions because it's convenient. Life isn't always convenient. Life's about making the right choices, and when you make the right choices, good things happen. I think it goes beyond adoption. I believe that our country has strayed so far from our moral compass that we have social ills today that are irreversible unless we go back to a moral compass that's centered around celebrating life. So life at conception, whether it's a natural pregnancy that ends up in a child being born into a natural family where you have a mom and a dad, whether it's someone gives this child up for adoption and they have a mom and a dad, but it goes beyond just the child. You know, you have the pro-marriage issue. A child needs a mother and a father. We need a traditional family where a mom and a dad raise a child, or two, or three, or four, or whatever the case may be, and we teach them right from wrong based on our Judeo-Christian values that form this nation. Because when we stray away from that and we try and get into the secular society, government comes in and tells us what's right and wrong. They modify things as time goes on because they modify for their own personal gain. The Bible was written for us to believe in, understand, and live our life by. And sometimes there's things in that Bible that we find uncomfortable. Sometimes we may not like it. But at the end of the day, the world is a better place because of the foundation that's in that book. And when we follow those principles and we use those as our guiding light to make decisions as a family, we're all better off as a result of it. How many times do you hear a story about a child that was born in poverty, that they were stripped from their family and they struggled to get out of poverty to make something of themselves? They didn't do it because they were constantly given handouts from the government or because they were constantly given handouts from people in the community. They did it because they believed in themselves. Somebody gave them the belief that they can achieve. It might have been their mother, their father, their uncle, their neighbor, but they had a guiding force that was not a government entity that gave them the will to get where they're at. And the best will we can give a child is a mother and father. And the best way to grow a country and to respect life in terms of the family unit, in terms of criminal behavior, in terms of societal being neighborly, it comes from respecting life. Here's the thing. When you say that you need to have a separation of church and state, we have that. But at the end of the day, what's the foundation of our government? The foundation of the United States of America is Judeo-Christian beliefs, where we can come here and we can practice our faith, whether we choose to be Catholic, Lutheran, Baptist, Protestant, Jewish, Muslim, whatever faith we choose, we have the right in America to take that path in religion and exercise those religious freedoms. When it comes to the government, our laws were crafted using the Bible and Judeo-Christian values, and we need to abide by those laws so that we have civility in our society, and we have a way to continue to expand our country and our culture in a positive manner. And religion isn't trying to interfere on government. What's happening today is government is interfering on religion by coming in and saying, hey, you have to take the 10 Commandments out of schools. Who doesn't agree with the 10 Commandments as a moral structure on how to live your life? Okay? Who doesn't agree with the fact that when you take an oath of office in government today in the United States, you place your hand on the Bible and pledge to uphold the Constitution of the United States? That was drafted by our forefathers, and it's the genesis of the American experiment. And we need to continue to foster that, because by straying away from that principle, we find ourselves in a position where we can't answer the why question. We make a law to make up for the why question, and we get unintended consequences, and as a result, the nuclear family starts deteriorating, crime starts growing, children start wondering what's really the right thing to believe in. You know, we replaced the nativity scene with Santa Claus. Well, if we didn't have the birth of Jesus Christ, we wouldn't have Santa Claus. If we didn't have the death and rising of Jesus Christ, we wouldn't have Easter. Most of the holidays that we celebrate in the United States of America today were emanated from a religious experience, a specific act in the Bible. So we shouldn't run from that. We should embrace that. And to me, that's not encroaching on government. It's government encroaching on religion, and we need to push government back a little bit and say, hey, time out. There's a right and a wrong, and we need to make sure that we continue to focus on what's right, because everything that we've done lately, everything's a harsh word, the majority of things that we've done lately focus on government intervention, and what's happening is we're getting more problems that we don't have answers for, so we write a law to replace a law, to add to a law, to fix a moral ill or a social ill that creates more problems. Those unintended consequences are hurting the American experiment, and we need to go back to the fundamentals that founded this country, that made us the country of exceptional ideals, exceptional moral character, and made us the leaders of the world on how to...
So I pledge to you here tonight, if I get elected to Congress, I will do everything in my power to create legislation to repeal and defund the National Health Care Program, to eliminate the opportunity for abortion to be expanded, and furthermore, to not allow the government to enter your life in your golden years and make the determination whether you're allowed to get care or not get care. As I said, life begins at conception and ends at the key word, natural death, not government-sponsored death.